Let me ask you something from the heart. Have you ever felt like the world still expects you to act young, look young, be young like you're somehow supposed to freeze time at 45 and stay that way forever? If so, you're not alone. But here's a truth we don't hear enough. Turning 70 isn't the end of the road, it's the beginning of an entirely new chapter. One that's deeper, freer, and if you let it, more joyful than you ever expected. See, the things that once made sense in our 40s or 50s, chasing trends, pleasing others, worrying about what people think, might not make much sense anymore. And that's not a loss. That's wisdom. Because after 70, you realize something powerful. You no longer have to live by everyone else's rules. You get to write your own. This video is about that journey, letting go of what no longer serves you and stepping boldly into the life you deserve now. A life that's not defined by anti-aging creams or old expectations, but by presence, peace, and real joy. So if you've ever felt like you're carrying things that don't belong to you, any more pressures to look a certain way, to say yes when you mean no, to hold your tongue just to keep the peace, this message is for you. Let me invite you to stay with me until the very end, because what we're going to explore together might just shift the way you see yourself forever. And if you're ready, I want you to ask yourself a simple but powerful question. What if the best years of my life are still ahead of me? It's time to stop shrinking yourself to fit outdated molds. It's time to stop apologizing for growing older. And it's time to start living on your own terms with purpose, freedom, and full permission to be exactly who you are. So grab a warm cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's begin this conversation not about aging, but about becoming. Because this chapter, it's yours to write. Part 1. Letting go of unrealistic beauty standards. For decades, women have been sold the same message: beauty equals youth. We've been told to cover the gray, erase the wrinkles, and spend countless dollars chasing a version of ourselves that looks forever 35. But what happens when we reach our 70s and realize that chasing youth no longer makes sense, not just practically, but emotionally and spiritually? After 70, beauty transforms. It's no longer about symmetry or smooth skin. It's about life vibrancy, confidence, and authenticity. It's in the way you carry yourself, the stories your eyes tell, and the wisdom behind every laugh line. This is real beauty, the kind you earn. Let's talk about Margaret. For years, she invested in expensive anti-aging treatments, never leaving home without full makeup and dyed hair. But every time she looked in the mirror, she saw what was missing. One day, she let her silver hair grow, wore less makeup, and stopped apologizing for her age. The shift was powerful. She finally felt free. Not because she gave up, but because she let go. So, what if we shifted the focus from fighting age to embracing vitality? Instead of asking, "How do I look?" ask, "How do I feel?" Choose skincare because it nourishes. Move your body because it energizes. Dress in a way that makes you feel alive. Your wrinkles tell a story worth celebrating. Here's a truth worth remembering. A joyful face with lines is far more beautiful than a flawless one filled with stress. Let beauty, after 70, be a celebration, not a competition. Part 2. Letting go of clutter. Look around your home. Is it filled with things you love, or just filled with things? As we get older, it's easy to accumulate, but keeping too much just in case can quietly turn into a burden. Clutter isn't just physical, it's emotional. That sweater reminds you of a special dinner. Those books, gifts from a friend, long gone. But when every drawer is stuffed and every shelf overloaded, peace becomes hard to find. Susan's story might resonate. For years, she kept over 100 outfits in her closet, shoes she never wore, and purses with tags still attached. Then one day she asked herself, "What do I really wear?" The answer, just 10 outfits. She donated the rest. Her mornings became simpler, her mind clearer, her space freer. Decluttering isn't about losing your memories. It's about keeping what serves you now. Start small, a drawer, a corner. Ask, do I use this? Do I love this? If not, let it go. Give it a second life in someone else's hands. After 70, our space should reflect who we are today, not who we were decades ago. Less clutter means more room for what matters: comfort, clarity, and calm. Part 3. Stepping away from unnecessary arguments. Your time and energy are precious. At this stage in life, every moment should nurture peace, not conflict. Yet, how often do we get caught in the crossfire of arguments, especially within family? Maybe it's about politics, maybe holiday plans, or perhaps you feel the urge to step in, fix things, mediate every disagreement. But here's a powerful truth: you don't have to. Let's return to Margaret's story. She used to play referee between her grown children. Every family dinner turned into a debate. It left her exhausted, emotionally drained. Until one day, she asked herself, "Why am I carrying their stress?" So, she stepped back. Let them handle their issues. And guess what? Her peace returned. Their relationships even improved. Choosing not to argue isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You're not giving up. You're choosing serenity. Before stepping into the next disagreement, ask, will this matter a year from now? Is it worth my peace? After 70, peace of mind becomes more valuable than being right. Let go of the need to win arguments and gain the freedom to simply enjoy your time. Part 4. Saying yes to everything. For decades, many of us believed that saying yes to everything was the key to being kind, generous, and well-loved. We said yes to family gatherings, social events, helping neighbors, and volunteering even when we were tired, overwhelmed, or simply not interested. But here's the truth. Every time we say yes to something we don't want to do, we are saying no to ourselves. After 70, your time and energy are precious. They should be spent on what truly brings you joy, not out of guilt or obligation. Why is it so hard to say no? Often, it's because we fear disappointing others. We worry that if we turn down an invitation, we'll be seen as rude or ungrateful. But here's a perspective shift. Saying no doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're being honest and prioritizing your well-being. Take Eleanor, for example. For years, she said yes to every invitation, birthday parties, club meetings, church events, but she felt drained and rarely had time for herself. One day, she paused and asked, "Do I really want to go to this? And will this bring me joy?" If the answer was no, she politely declined. And you know what? The world didn't fall apart. In fact, she gained more time, more peace, and a deeper sense of self-respect. Here's a gentle challenge for you. The next time you're asked to do something, take a breath and ask yourself, is this how I want to spend my time? If not, give yourself permission to say no with grace, but without guilt. Part 5. Chasing perfection. Perfection is a myth. For most of our lives, we've been told that everything should be just right: the house spotless, the food perfectly plated, our appearance flawless. But after 70, who are we really trying to impress? Perfection is not only exhausting, it robs us of joy, spontaneity, and presence. Let's talk about Helen. For decades, she hosted the family Christmas dinner. She'd spend weeks preparing, cleaning, decorating, and cooking elaborate meals. But by the time the big day came, she was too exhausted to enjoy it. Then one year, her oven broke, the table settings didn't match, and dinner was far from Pinterest perfect. But something beautiful happened. Everyone laughed, relaxed, and connected more deeply than ever. That imperfect Christmas became the most memorable of all. We often forget that what people truly remember isn't how perfect everything looked, it's how they felt. The warmth, the love, the shared laughter. So next time you feel yourself slipping into that everything must be perfect mindset, ask yourself, will anyone even notice if this isn't flawless? Does this actually matter? Let go of the pressure. Focus on connection over perfection. Because a home filled with love and a heart full of joy is far more valuable than any perfectly folded napkin. Part 6. Neglecting health because you think you're too old. It's a common belief. I'm too old to start now. Whether it's exercising, changing eating habits, or picking up a new routine, many people over 70 convince themselves that it's too late to make a difference. But the truth is, your health is your greatest asset at any age. Small steps can lead to big improvements. Movement helps your joints stay strong. Eating fresh fuels your body. And getting enough rest supports your mind. It's not about becoming a fitness guru. It's about maintaining the freedom to live independently and enjoy your days fully. Take Margaret, for example. At 75, she struggled with arthritis and felt constantly fatigued. She thought, what's the point of exercising now? But one day, she joined a gentle yoga class for seniors. At first, she was hesitant. Her balance was shaky, and her muscles ached. But she stuck with it. Within weeks, her pain lessened, her energy returned, and she felt like a new woman. What can you do today? Maybe it's a 10-minute walk, swapping chips for fruit, drinking more water. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's feeling better tomorrow than you did yesterday. So let me ask, what's one small change you can make today to honor your health and future? It's never too late. You deserve to feel strong, capable, and vibrant because this stage of life should be lived, not endured. Part 7. Letting go of toxic relationships. Some relationships, no matter how long they've been part of our lives, simply weigh us down. They drain our energy, cause stress, and bring more frustration than joy. When we reach our 70s and beyond, our time and peace of mind become far too valuable to be wasted on negativity. Take Evelyn, for example. For over 30 years, she had a friend who constantly criticized her. Every interaction left Evelyn feeling emotionally drained. Yet she held on out of habit, guilt, or the belief that long-standing friendships should never be broken. One day, Evelyn asked herself a powerful question. Why am I holding on to someone who makes me feel worse, not better? She decided to take a step back and gradually distanced herself. The result? A deep sense of relief. She found herself smiling more, sleeping better, and making room for new connections that brought her genuine joy. Letting go doesn't mean you don't value the past. It means you respect your present enough to prioritize it. Ask yourself, who in your life lifts you up and who brings you down? The answer might surprise you. Part 8. Thinking it's too late to learn something new. There's a myth that learning has an age limit, but that couldn't be further from the truth. At 70, 80, or even 90, your brain is still capable of growth, adaptation, and creativity. Learning keeps the mind sharp, the heart young, and the spirit engaged. Meet Margaret. At 72, she decided to learn Spanish, a dream she had put off for decades. She started small with a language app, practicing just 5 minutes a day. Over time, she joined a senior-friendly language course, and within a year, she could hold simple conversations. But more importantly, she felt alive again. Learning gave her purpose, a fresh sense of challenge, and even new friendships. So what's stopping you? Whether it's painting, music, photography, or a new language, it's never too late to explore your curiosity. The goal isn't perfection, it's joy. Start small. Stay consistent. And watch your world expand. Part 9. Avoiding technology because it seems too complicated. Technology can feel intimidating, especially if you didn't grow up with it. But here's the truth. Avoiding it only isolates you more. Embracing it, even just a little, opens up a world of connection, convenience, and confidence. Take Dorothy's story. At 78, she had never used a smartphone. She relied on landlines and letters and felt increasingly distant from her grandchildren. One day, her grandson helped her make a video call. The moment she saw his smile light up on the screen, something shifted. Since then, Dorothy's been using messaging apps, joining weekly video calls, and even watching cooking tutorials on YouTube. She didn't become a tech wizard overnight, she simply took one step at a time. Start with the basics. Learn how to make a video call, send a text, or check the weather. You'll be surprised how empowering it feels. Technology is not your enemy, it's a bridge to the people and experiences you love. Part 10. Caring too much about what others think. As we grow older, many of us find ourselves stuck in a pattern of living according to other people's expectations. It's as if there's this invisible rule book telling us what we should wear, how we should act, and what choices we should make even when we're well into our 70s or 80s. But here's a liberating truth. Most people aren't paying as much attention to you as you think. And even if they are, it really doesn't matter. Take Margaret, for example. She had always loved bold, colorful dresses, but she avoided wearing them because she worried they were too much for her age. Then one day, she decided to try something different. She slipped into a bright red dress and headed to her favorite local cafe. At first, she felt self-conscious, waiting for judgmental glances. But what she got instead was a compliment from a stranger. "You look radiant today." That simple moment changed everything for her. She realized that most of the fear and hesitation came from within. By letting go of that fear, she opened the door to self-expression and joy. The truth is, when you live authentically, you become magnetic. People are drawn to confidence, not conformity. So, here's the big question. What would you do differently if you stopped worrying about what others might say? Maybe you'd sign up for that dance class, wear that bright lipstick, or speak up more often. At this stage in life, you don't need permission to be yourself. You've earned the right to live freely. So go ahead, wear what you love, do what lights you up, and stop giving so much power to the opinions of others. Part 11. Not having a financial plan. Money isn't everything, but peace of mind is. And the truth is, not having a plan for your finances can turn your golden years into a source of stress rather than freedom. Let's look at Linda and Mary. Both retired at 65. Linda believed she had saved enough, so she spent freely traveling, helping family, indulging in small luxuries. But by 75, she was constantly worried about bills and expenses. She didn't see it coming, but little by little, her savings disappeared. On the other hand, Mary had a different approach. She set a simple budget, tracked her spending, and planned for unexpected costs. 10 years later, she's not just secure-ish, he's thriving. She still enjoys life, but with the comfort of knowing her finances are under control. Here's the takeaway. You don't need to be a millionaire to feel secure. What you need is clarity. Know what's coming in, what's going out, and be prepared for the unexpected like medical bills, home repairs, or a family emergency. And yes, you can still enjoy the things you love just with a plan. So ask yourself, do you know where your money is going? If not, today is the perfect day to start. A few small changes can bring a world of peace. Part 12. Fearing aging. Aging isn't something to fear, it's something to honor. Every wrinkle tells a story. Every gray hair is a mark of wisdom. Yet so many of us spend our later years trying to hide the very signs that we've lived. Why? Because society taught us that youth equals beauty, value, and relevance. But let's flip the script. What if aging is actually your superpower? Margaret once dreaded every birthday. She avoided mirrors, photos, and even family gatherings because she didn't feel young enough. But one day, her grandson asked, "Grandma, why don't you like getting older?" She had no answer. And that question sparked a transformation. She started painting again, joined a book club, let her silver hair grow out. For the first time in years, she looked in the mirror and smiled not in spite of her age, but because of it. So what if, instead of hiding from aging, we celebrated it? What if we embraced the freedom, the wisdom, the perspective that comes with time? You are not too old to learn something new. You are not too old to chase a dream. You are not too old to feel beautiful, powerful, and alive. Getting older means you've been lucky enough to live, and that's the greatest privilege of all. So here's the invitation. Don't shrink yourself to fit someone else's idea of aging gracefully. Expand. Glow. Celebrate your journey. Because this chapter, it might just be the most beautiful one yet. Part 13. Comparing yourself to others. As we grow older, the habit of comparing ourselves to others often lingers, even when it no longer serves us. Whether it's comparing your health, family, lifestyle, or accomplishments, this silent rivalry often brings unnecessary stress and sadness. The truth is, every life path is different. At 70 or beyond, some people are climbing mountains, while others are finding peace in a garden. One isn't better than the other. It's just different. Consider Susan, who once envied her friend who traveled extensively in retirement. But then Susan realized her joy came from being close to family, hosting Sunday dinners, and reading to her grandchildren. Her fulfillment didn't need a passport stamp. Once she stopped comparing, she found deep gratitude in her own life. Instead of asking, "Why am I not like her?" ask, "What do I love about my own life?" We should be inspired by others, not diminished. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. Recognize your unique journey. Because peace doesn't come from being like everyone else, it comes from accepting and loving where you are. Here's a reminder. The only person you should compare yourself to is the version of you from yesterday. If you're growing, learning, healing, or even just smiling more, that's progress. Let go of measuring sticks. Embrace your own path. Part 14. Ignoring your inner voice. There's a quiet whisper inside USA voice of intuition, experience, and truth. Yet, as we age, we often learn to silence it. We listen to what others expect, what society demands, or what fear tells us to do. But after 70, it's time to listen inward. Ignoring your inner voice can lead to regret. Whether it's staying in a place that no longer feels like home, avoiding a new adventure out of fear, or holding back words you wish you'd said, these moments often trace back to one thing: not trusting yourself. Let's talk about George. At 74, he had a lifelong dream to start painting. But for years, he thought, "I'm not an artist. I'm too old to begin now." Then, one morning, his inner voice said, "Why not now?" That week, he bought paints, took a local class, and soon filled his home with color. It wasn't about being perfect, it was about being authentic. That decision sparked joy he hadn't felt in decades. Your inner voice knows what brings you peace, what you need to let go of, and what still matters deeply. Trust it. If something in your heart says, try, follow it. If it says, leave, listen. If it whispers, begin again, take the first step. Because no one knows your truth better than you. And at this stage in life, there's no need to wait for permission. Your happiness is the only approval you need. By the time we reach 70, there's nothing left we need to prove to anyone. This is the moment to let go of everything that no longer fits, whether it's outdated expectations, the pressure to look a certain way, or the habit of putting everyone else's needs above your own. Now, it's time to choose again. Choose peace, choose joy, and most importantly, choose yourself. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be meaningful. Happiness can come from a quiet morning with a cup of tea, a heartfelt conversation with someone you love, or simply being yourself without needing to perform for others. Hold on to the things that make you feel alive, whether it's a new hobby, true friendships, or a small habit that helps you feel stronger every day. Don't be afraid to change. Don't let the fear of judgment keep you from embracing who you truly are. Because what matters most is that you're living truly, living on your own terms. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you've let go of that used to drain you? What's one lesson you've learned after 70 that you wish you'd known earlier? Drop a comment below, I read everyone. And if this video spoke to you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need this message. We all deserve to live freely, without guilt or pressure. Thanks for staying with me until the end. See you in the next one.